Good to be here. Yes, at home with my head. So it's working, and I don't understand why. So I guess I don't know. I guess show me when I'm talking. Is that how we're going to do this?
I think it's the other way around. You're leading me when I'm talking, but I don't hear feedback, so okay.
Awesome. Well, feedback
Okay, sounds great. Well, why don't we start a little bit of your story in case there's anybody in the room or doesn't know, about your background and your story a little bit, both here at EXP and maybe even before EXP.
You got it, Vicki. Well, good morning, family. Wow, look at all of you. There's a ton of people in the audience. That's exciting. Hopefully, we're going to record this. But yeah, it was 15 months ago I got the call. Never heard of the letters, never heard of the company. And I've been doing real estate prior to that for 20 years, 12 years at RE/MAX, and 8 years at Keller Williams. Had been a former 9-10 for Keller Williams, and loved my time at RE/MAX, loved my time at Keller Williams. I'm kind of a happy guy in general. I pretty much bloom where I'm planted. and then I got into EXP, and it was just been the best time of my life. The last 15 of mind-blowing, incredible. It's been great, Vicki.
It has, and about maybe your organization and your RevShare group and some of the impact you've been able to have. Pretty astonishing.
Thank you. Were you asking me to tell a little bit about what happened when I got an EXP?
Yeah.
I think you got off there. Okay. So, there's Frank Crandall way in the back there. You can actually see names of people. That's cool. I haven't been on the stage except when you first introduced me, and then you never had me back. I did such a bad job. Love it.
No, you golf on Fridays is why we've never had you back. We've tried to have.
Yeah, well, you got to have boundaries, Vicki.
I know. I get it.
Real estate isn't my life. But okay, well, so here's my story. I got in and signed up 12 people immediately, and in the next two months, I signed up another, 13, 14 agents. I had basically in 3 months, I had 24 agents I had brought to EXP personally. And that just caused my business to explode. If there's any Keller Williams agents in the audience, my first revenue share check with EXP was 19. And so that was shocking. And we are getting a little feedback right now. Someone may need to mute their mic. And then basically, the next check was 5,000. And then my next check was 10,000. And the fourth one, 10. And then the fifth one was 25,000 a month, and I've never made less than 25,000 a month. 5 months after getting EXP, now it's a lot more. I tell you, nobody's more shocked than I am, and so I'm so grateful to Glenn and you and Jason and the whole, Mary Frances, the whole leadership team. It's been nothing short. I mean, I'm shocked. My wildest dreams, I set a goal to maybe have EXP a year in, and then if I hit the jackpot, 200 or 300 agents. And we ended up way above that. So I'm not used to, doubling and tripling my goals. So it's just been a great year. It's been totally awesome. Thank you.
That's phenomenal, Brent. And this is probably a good place for a disclaimer here, right? That in no way are we making any kind of promises of earnings or anything like that. With any of these statements that we make from up here. And maybe the other thing too is as we get into some of these best practices and some things to do and not to do, if you are someone here in the audience, things, we don't in any way mean for this to be a shaming or anything to make you feel bad. Really, this conversation that we're having here today is really just to help sponsors that they can here at EXP, and we really just want folks to embrace it, and it's okay. We know that anything that anyone. It's all just because everyone's excited, and we get that. And so, you know, anything we might say from here, we just don't want anybody's feelings to be hurt or feel like we are attacking anyone up here today. Several of you asked about the simple avatars and how to do that. So just a quick housekeeping. Go up to the little geek upper right-hand corner. That is where you can change to simple avatar there, which might help your sound settings there too. So, okay, so now that we're done with the housekeeping and all, so, you know, Brent, let me ask you, when you are sharing EXP, what do you feel is the EXP and how do you kind of hit what those pillars are, and maybe give us some scripts? I know folks are sitting there with pen and paper to hear how it is that you explain some of these big rocks of our value proposition.
Okay, well, for me, that's what I do. I'm going to tell you what I do, and then for you, but I'll basically call up, hey, how are you? I haven't talked to you in 5 years. How are you? Or maybe I met Vicki at an open house last Saturday. Vicki, Brent Gove, met you at the open house last Saturday. And I remind you how we know, or maybe we did a transaction together. Chat with, it's not much. And then I just transition quickly to, well, let me get to the point of why I'm talking, because their time is valuable. I want to respect that. And I go, I'm dying to ask you a question, Vicki. As a superstar blank agent, whether it's Coldwell Banker, Remax, Century 21, whatever brand they are, maybe it's an independent brand. As a superstar, you know, a good agent, I'm dying to know, have you ever heard of EXP? And it seems like it's a 50-50. Half the time they've heard of it, half the time they haven't. Well, no, I haven't. I'm like, oh my gosh, you've got to check out this company. They are just, everybody's so excited. They're one of the fastest growing real estate companies in North America. Hey, if I sent you a short webinar that brilliantly explains all the values, all the opportunities and benefits of this company, would you watch it? And they say yes or no. If they say no, I said, thanks, have a great day. You know, call me if you need anything. We were friends before, we're friends. I sent it to them, they watch it. So, Vicki, I think you guys have put together these slides, which I pretty much got from EXP a year ago. You guys put together a recommended presentation slide. And so we've done this. We've just gone over the slides and explained it. Some things I touch lightly on. They're not my area of expertise. The stuff I'm more excited about, I spend more time on. And my webinar takes about 42 minutes. I'm going to try to make a new one and get it down to 30. But Vicki, you guys have a company slide deck of PowerPoints, correct?
We sure do. Our marketing team has put together a slide deck and working to revise it and work at it, and so that you can always find that on the joint.com site, and that will give you the link. You'll have all the slides that you need there. And then, you know, keep in mind too that when you are, if you're going to do some kind of recorded presentation, that, you know, if that's going to be effective, you have to have that relationship first, right, Brent? I mean, you're not just recording this and mass sending it out to people or posting it on YouTube and, right? I mean, you protect that recording pretty strongly. Is that right?
Absolutely. For me personally, I only call people I know. Now, I may have just met them at an open house, but I know them, right? I may have met them at a Tom Ferry seminar, or Brian Buffini, or Craig Proctor from 15 years ago, Howard Breton Star Power. I mean, so many of us in the audience have been doing this for 5, 10, 20, 30 years. So what I teach people I'm talking to is the more you say, the worse it goes. I want them, if you'll watch, hey, if I send this webinar, would you watch it? And I just shut up. So I really don't talk to them. It's this great company. You got to check it out. And I let curiosity do the rest. And they say, yeah, send it over. I email it to them. Say, yeah, this is nothing. I have never sent it to somebody. I didn't personally, not mass emailing. In fact, we'll cover, in my opinion, I came up with 10 EXP best practices for attracting agents. They're like bullet points. They're really good. They're just made up by me, but I think everyone would get a lot out of that. We'll go over that in just a little bit. But mainly I have them watch the webinar, which explains it to them. But Vicki, to answer your question, what I tell people is I like them to watch this PowerPoint slides of pictures worth 1,000 words. And so, 15 months later, I have 1,300 agents and brokers, part of what I'm doing. So it's been very effective, you could say. But I do tell people it really gets down to this. What makes EXP different? It's not the fact that we have amazing training, 5 to 10 classes a day. Other companies have amazing training. It's not the fact that we actually help you get leads through Conversion and Commissions Inc. Other companies do that too. Now we do it better, I think, than anyone, and we do both things better. But that's not really, to me, what makes EXP so special. What makes it so special is all my years at those other companies I named earlier, nobody offered me stock awards. And so I was able to and earn stock awards, plus I was able to purchase stock through the 20% discount. And I've been able to acquire I'm not sure the bounces around, but $400,000 to $500,000 worth of stock my first year compared to 20 years of zero. Now, I did purchase some and I was awarded a bunch, and I realized that's not normal for everybody, but some people sell 5 homes a year and some people sell the individual. I went after it, no doubt about it. I sold a ton of homes last year. I did. Everyone, oh, you just recruited. Nope, because I sold so many homes, I met agents. And that's really what helped me recruit, was the fact that I was so active in real estate.
I love that, Brent, because people always ask me, how do I attract agents? And I always give exactly the same answer. Be a happy, productive agent in your market. Do great business and build relationship, and that is how you attract agents. If you are succeeding and selling a lot of homes and really at the top of producer in real estate, agents are going to be attracted to that and want to know what you're doing and how the company that you're with helps you with that success. I mean, it's not rocket science. That is how you're effective as an attractor. And certainly you do that. I mean, you're an icon agent with us. You were our number one group in terms of awards last year. I mean, you're absolutely producing at a high level. You do a real estate radio show, so you use that influence. You talk about the market, and I really truly believe that is at the heart of why you are so successful.
Well, thank you, Vicki. And by the way, I've never, ever talked about EXP on my radio show, mainly because I'm not ashamed of it. I just don't want people to be threatened by my show. I didn't want agents to say, well, he was so successful because he had a show. I called agents one at a time that I'd either done a transaction with, or that I was doing a transaction with, or that called me about one of my listings, or maybe I called them about one of their listings. So again, you can't say, well, because you had a radio show, I have not used that one bit. I would be doing so much better had I done that, but I don't want people to get defeated and go, well, if I had a radio show, my success has nothing to do with that radio show. So I just want to throw that out there for people who feel defeated. Hey, the final point besides leads, it's not the training, it is the ownership through stock awards. That is huge. I mean, that is huge. Never had that in 20 years. And then the final thing was the fact that I joined a company that shares revenue with the agents. All the other companies I've ever been to, there's a few out there that do it, but 7 levels of revenue sharing. Wow, what a defining difference. So those 2 things are why myself and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, thousands have joined EXP this year and will in the years to come. Those are, for me personally, those are the 2 big things: stock and revenue share.
That's great, Brent. And you're right. I think one of the things that is important when you're having these conversations is to know what excites you about the company, and definitely speak to those things. And for me, it was ownership as well. That was something that had kind of been dangled as a opportunity at other companies that was never fulfilled on. And so, the fact that, here you get to become an owner day one is huge. And that really does set us apart from any other company out there on the planet. So I agree with you there. And also that is why, we have so many different EXP Explain presentations going on here during the week. I know Sam does a great EXP Explain presentation Sam Rodriguez as well. And everyone does them a little differently. Jason does it differently. I do it differently. We all do it a little bit differently because we all are excited about slightly different things. And so what's important to also understand when you're speaking to someone is different things are going to excite them as well. And so really making sure you touch on everything, you add your passion and excitement, and then learn what is important to them so that when you're having that conversation, you can get excited about the things that we offer that meet their needs as well.
Love it. Dead on, dead on. Hey, can I share just a couple advice for people to get off on a quick start and to get off on the right foot?
Absolutely.
All right. So here's my advice to everyone in the audience and everyone who may listen to this recording webinar in the future, because we'll record this and save it. You guys can share it with people. But number one goal, sign up 10 people, enroll 10 people for EXP as fast as you can. The reason is that'll get you paid through the first 3 levels and put some money in your pocket immediately. You'll notice I did 12 and my first check was $1,900. That is significant. And then the next month it was 5, and the next month it was 10. If all of you were making 5 and 10,000 a month, wow! But you got to focus on job one, which is sign up 10 people. And then once you get them, work hard to support them. You know, meet them for coffee, bring them to events. We don't have any events. Well, then start some events. You know, come to shareholders. Man, if you're not coming to the shareholders meeting in April in Las Vegas, oh my gosh, I went to EXP's annual conference as a Keller Williams agent. Keller Williams had to pay for me to fly out to all their stuff as a Remax guy. They spent 2 years recruiting me, and EXP didn't buy me a cup of coffee, and I flew to San Antonio and spent $2,100 on airfare, hotel rooms. I probably spent $4 grand checking EXP out, and in 10 days, there was so much value. I was compelled to leave a company I loved. I didn't like Keller. I loved it. It took them 2 years to recruit me from Remax, and in 10 days I was at EXP just because it makes so much sense. And that's no disrespect to Keller. Keller's a great company. They just didn't offer me ownership and revenue sharing. And if I make today, you'd be just going, no way, no way. And I'm shocked. My wife is thrilled. So it's great. You turn 50 and you start thinking about, man, I wish I had a 401k, or I wish I had something. And this is that something. And then I was going to share about how you meet agents and some stuff like that, but I don't want to keep going endlessly. So go ahead.
Well, you know, I think you know, your passion is definitely clear, and that's, you know, one of the things I love about you, and I think that is why you're so successful at this. So one of the things that I always say is, you know, responsibility, and I truly believe that. I think as agent owners, we do have a responsibility to the company, to build the company, to put the company's best interest first, because we own the company. It's ours, right? And I think in this a revenue share group, and we are attracting agents to the company, we have a responsibility as sponsors to make sure that those agents are set up for success and are plugged in. And so I know you're really passionate about this. You do such a great job supporting. What are some of those tips that you say are must-dos for sponsors?
Unmuting my mic there. Yeah, I think you need to be either agents every week, checking in on them, or meet them for coffee. Sometimes if there's an event, we just create events to do once a week in Sacramento and Roseville. We have something every week. We'll do we call it a lunch and learn. I have lunch brought in, and that might be, you know, 18 sandwiches cut in half, which will feed 36 people, and some bottled water. Everyone grabs half a sandwich and a bottled water. It doesn't have to be expensive. It doesn't have to be you know, overly pricey. You could do it at a conference room, at a title company or a mortgage company, or you know, even a real estate company. I like mortgage companies and neutral turf. Meet me before that, and I'll meet, because maybe I haven't seen this agent for a month. Let's have coffee, and I meet him an hour early and we have coffee, or then maybe afterwards, hey, let's go to lunch, and because I'm presenting, I don't eat, you know, and then so we'll go to lunch, or we'll go to coffee afterwards, or any special events. I'm always trying to meet people before and after, then also get them to the event, and then help them with their business, you know. Teach them about, how to get lead generator, or how to, just how to take their business to the next level, and ask them what they're struggling with, support them, whatever I could do to help them. You work hard to help them join EXP. Don't just be like a Casanova agent, love them and leave them. Oh, you're on board. It's the first 2, 3, 4 weeks, you got to work really hard to help them get plugged in, to make sure they're not frustrated. It is a lot, and we work really hard to do that. And the rewards are astronomical.
Absolutely. One of the things that was kind of the driving decision to have revenue share in the first place is the idea that if there was a financial benefit, then agents and the sponsors would actually step up and really help an agent love the company and be excited about the company. And I think, there are some real concrete ways that, to me, if you haven't done these things, then you have really let an agent down. And the first and foremost is getting them into the cloud. If you have not helped them get into the cloud, made sure that they understood how to get it on their computer and build an avatar and met them in here and given them a tour, you are doing them a huge disservice. You're asking them to join a company without giving them the address of the office, right? I mean, you wouldn't do that. This is where all of our support is. And I think there's kind of this misconception that when we say sponsor support, that means that you have to be there to answer everybody's question and all of that. And the reality is that's really not effective, right? That's not the point. The point is to help point them here to the company and all the many, many resources and support avenues that we have here as a company. That's really your job as a sponsor, is to make sure that who the broker is, that they know when the state meeting is, and that you've invited them, even if they're from another state. Attend that state meeting with them for the first time. Give an introduction. That agent. Make them feel welcome. Just doing those personal touches. Walk them into agent services once they've hit that join button. Walk them into agent services and let them meet the team that's working with their onboarding and feel connected. Help them. So important, and I see it over and over and over again. Is I'll have agents that will respond that they're unhappy with the onboarding process, or they have questions, and I always say, well, did you go into the cloud? And I'm not kidding about this, Brent. I have people who've been with us say, what's that? What's the cloud? And to me, that is absolutely on the sponsor. That should always be something that as a sponsor we're doing. Sorry, I was on my soapbox a little bit there.
No, I love it. I could not agree more. As a sponsor, and yet, plus the agents, you guys listening out on the audience, I mean, we're preaching to the choir. They're here, they're in the cloud, right, Vicki?
Right.
But you guys, if you haven't been to I remember one day when I was new, I'm going to every department. I'm going to introduce myself as Brent Gove. I'm new with EXP. What do you do in services? Brokerage operations, going to accounting, the transaction team, tech support, agent services, and human resources. I went into every meeting room. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I know what they look like. I know how they're configured. I went into the general auditorium, walked around. I completely familiarized myself with the cloud. I mean, everybody wants to make 2, 3, 4, 500,000 a year, maybe $1 million a year. Have you put the effort in to do that? Part of that is put on your big boy pants, your big girl pants, and go, I'm going to figure out this dumb cloud environment. Sorry, I don't mean to call it a dumb cloud, but you're frustrated with it, but it's on you. And as sponsors, it's on you to help your new people. Just like Vicki said, I mean, I used to take one person at a time, say, hey, this is accounting. Here's Josh. I'm in the transaction or agent services. Here's Ashley. Here's Heather. And I would go through. Now I'm coming through with 10, 15, 20, 30, 40 agents at once, taking them on a tour. I'm like Julie McCoy on the Love Boat, for those of you that are old. I'm like, hey, there's Doc, there's Captain Stevie. This place is great. And if you're not comfortable in the cloud, that's on you. Get to know your company. I agree with you, Vicki. I agree. Hey, I wrote 10 bullet points. It's quick. A month, like polishing what I call EXP best practices for attracting agents. This isn't company standpoint, it's mine. I think the company would agree with this, and you can correct me, but it's really good. Can I read it? Are you there, Vic?
Yeah, absolutely. Sorry, I was opening my mic. There was a little bit of a delay. Absolutely. Love to hear it.
Okay, good. That was dramatic. Can I read
That
it?
was.
Total
Yeah,
silence. That was awesome. I love it. So number one, do the right thing. That is a principle. It's not owned by any other company or our company. It's a principle in life. That'll get you out of such a jam when you're in a jam with a listing, or you're in a jam with a buyer and they're upset about whatever. Maybe you're trying to recruit another agent from another company, and maybe another EXP agent's there. Just ask yourself, what's the right thing to do here? And if you ask yourself that question, it's going to lend to a really positive outcome. So really adopt that saying, do the right thing. And I know EXP is all about that. Number two, I'm going to go quick. Do be learning based. Man, go to Class Cloud. Learn about your company. Accounting is a class at I believe it's 10 a.m. Pacific every single Thursday morning, Vicki, or is it Central? I forget. But
no, I think Pacific.
Yeah, Pacific, 10 a.m. Pacific. Go to that class. They talk about stock, rev share, getting paid. It's an hour. Go to that class. Number three, do acquire more buyers and sellers. Again, grow your business. Number four, do grow your business. Learn, grow, build. Maybe hire a buyer's agent, hire an assistant, maybe part-time at first. I remember when I hired my first assistant, and it literally tripled my income like within 3 months, because I wasn't doing the petty little things that have to be done. You either what's the saying? Get an assistant or you are one. And if you really want to be worth $200, $300, $400 an hour, then stop doing things. And we all know assistants don't make that kind of money. So number five, do not mass email about the EXP opportunity. I think Vic, right here, Vicki, do you agree? We are not about mass. Please stop
Yes.
that. Am I right, Vicki?
Yes, please. And first of all, it's icky, right? Nobody wants that. It's not a personal touch. It definitely, more than that though, even if it was well, it doesn't work. It just doesn't work. And again, this is one of those areas, it doesn't mean, we understand. Everyone is we want to share the opportunity. And, if you've been in the real estate industry for a minute, you have probably gotten emails from other companies and, trying to recruit you. And so I get it. I get that there are drip campaigns out there. And so everyone thinks that, oh, yeah, that's what I'll do. I'll send out these emails. But, I think here's the challenge, is that we are not like other companies. A traditional company, whether it's a franchise or an independent, they might have one, maybe two office managers or brokers in any given market that is trying to recruit. And so if that person is sending out information, you might, when we have 500 agents in a market and everyone's deciding that, gee, I'm going to send out a mass email campaign today, then we look like crazy recruiters, right? We can't do that, and it's not effective. It turns people off. And I just can't imagine there is an agent worth their salt. I've never heard of it. I've never seen it. I've never seen any kind of quality real estate agent get an email and go, I think I'm going to change brokerages because I got this email. it just doesn't work. It doesn't.
Totally
cannot say that enough.
I totally agree. It's so funny. And if it does work, then they want to do that. And then if that works,
right,
you might get the little, you need is 10 people that came in that way, all mass emailing, and now you got, instead of 100,000 emails going out, that's times 10. Now you have 1 million emails going out.
Exactly.
And that's just with 10. It's a bad duplicatable deal. The other thing I have here is do not mass cold call opportunity, which goes right with do not mass email, right?
Right. Relationship trumps mass email. And again, or mass calling. Any kind of cold anything, right? Is not gonna be effective and not gonna work. And I get it. as agents, we do make cold calls. That is how we lead generate. But when we're talking about attraction, it's change management is really what any kind of agent attraction is. It's change management. And someone has got to trust you and know you to make a change in their business, unless they're not doing any business, unless they're new to the industry and they don't know better and it's not a change. And quite honestly, that's not who we're looking to attract anyway, right?
Agreed.
Great agents. And so those folks are going to need some relationship and some hand-holding to manage the change in their business. And that relationship is not built from sending out a mass email or making a cold call to, without trying to build a relationship in there.
Yep, totally agree. Absolutely. And then the last do not would be do not post excessively on social media about EXP. It's okay to do it here and there, but I mean, if you're pounding away 2-3 times a day, it is going to just, it's not good, in my opinion. I don't know, Vicki, what's your take on that?
Oh, totally agree. And in general, that I mean, wow, we've got to be careful. First of all, everything on social media, whatever social media, I don't care how private the group, is not private. And I would hope by now that everyone knows that. But it still amazes me when people are surprised that something that they posted in a private group ends up, massively distributed. The reality is we have to be careful. Please don't engage when you're somewhere in one of these other real estate groups and you see, someone brings up EXP or says something negative about EXP. Just don't comment. Just don't respond. Just take the high road. The reality is our value proposition and who we are as a company will speak for itself, and the naysayers and the negativity will go away when we conduct ourselves in the right professional way. Us engaging in those kind of conversations just does nothing. And like you said, the mass posting about EXP, I mean, certainly is part of your daily life and being an agent and all of that should weave in. We've got to be authentic in our social media presence, but be smart, some common sense in that. You should come across first and foremost as a productive real estate agent transacting real estate rather than massively trying to recruit agents.
I call it social intelligence, right?
Yes.
Social IQ. Come on.
Yes.
And so many of you do such a great job, but it just takes a few that really do stuff wild. My final 3 points are: do meet agents and personally invite them to learn more about EXP. Do acquire more stock and ownership in EXP. Do develop your revenue share income through EXP. So I have those little 10 rules for success, and hopefully that was helpful. If it was not helpful to anyone, it was helpful for me. It felt good to write them.
It was very helpful, Brent. And I would add a do to that, and that's know your product. And this is any kind of sales, right? Let's see, I'm getting a little feedback here. Let's try that. Okay, no. Somebody have their mic open? No, there we go. Okay. Know your product. I can't tell you how often I hear misinformation that has gone out when people are attracting agents, particularly around the Icon program, right? If you don't know the ins and outs of all the details of what it is to be with our company and be attracting someone, please don't give them misinformation. It is so important that we are giving the right information. Just like you wouldn't sell a house in a neighborhood that you didn't really know. You've got to make sure you know your product when you are sharing the EXP opportunity.
I think there is a little feedback. If everyone could check your mics and make sure they're off, that would be great. Of the screen, not sure what that is about. Another thing I want to say, Vicki, is it's Team EXP. It's not the Brent Gove team. It's not, we are Team EXP. We're a family, man. We're together. united we stand, divided we fall. We are Team EXP. And so I want to say that, say nice things about other companies and people. Don't get sucked in whatever, say, I don't know, but here's what we're doing. Because we don't need to jump onto those bandwagons and just take the high road, like Vicki said. One thing that we've had happen from time to time is overzealous EXP agents. And this is just human beings. They get excited. They've walked into other companies' meetings or grand openings and recruited. And so, there's times that they're just inappropriate, like a funeral, a wedding, church, the grand opening of another company. Let them have their moment, and if you meet their agents next week, great. If you do happen to go to the grand opening, enjoy the grand opening. Have an appetizer. Enjoy yourself. If you're going to prospect, be like 007, James Bond. Be stealthy and just meet people. Do not get sucked into a conversation about EXP at their grand opening. I'm telling you, man, it'll upset them. It'll upset their agents. It's just bad juju. That's my take on it. What do you think, Vicki?
I totally agree. If there's ever a fine line where someone could perceive what you're doing as stalking, you should stop it, right? So, by all means, go visit open houses, but look at the properties and be there to be a contributing member to the real estate community, right? Don't be there to stalk agents. Same thing. If you're going to go to someone's grand opening, be there just to support another brand there, because again, in real estate, there is enough. There's enough difference out there for everyone. Not everyone is going to be a fit for EXP, and that's okay, right? Agents that are right for us. And when we go and we are, kind of beating people over the head with our message, it just, again, it doesn't work, and it does make us look a little kooky, kind of like stalkers, and we certainly don't ever want that.
I remember when Keller Williams came on the scene. 2000, 2005, everyone's like, oh, there's this excited Keller Williams Kool-Aid. They will say, and already are saying, some of the things about EXP. Agents got excited about Keller for the first time ever. They could share some of the profits, and there was a lot of training. And now for the first time ever, you get ownership and sharing the revenue, which is like, 100 times better. And of course, you get the same enthusiasm, I being a good example of that. Are excited about this company, and we see it doing amazing things because no one's ever done this. Not as organized as we are, and so this is amazing. We have a 9-year head start on everybody, and we're making our agents owners. Some are minority owners, some are majority owners. It's up to you how big of an owner you want to be. I've decided I want to go big, but I do want to say this: success at EXP depends upon your ability to promote. And if you're having a lunch and learn, you get people there. You don't badger people. If they're not interested, lay off. It's like dating. If you can tell he or she is not into you, just back off. Like Vicki said, it comes off like stalking. You gotta, if they're just keep saying thanks, can't make it, thanks. If they just constantly nice to tell you no, just move on. Do not badger them. You gotta really. And then some of you are like, well, I've been talking to so-and-so for 6 months. No, you've been badgering them for 6 months. That does not constitute engagement.
Right.
If so-and-so's meeting you for your lunch, meeting you for coffee, taking phone calls from people in your upline, asking questions about, well, what would it look like if I came to EXP, and how do I get paid, and when do you get rev share? And now that constitutes engagement. And so, don't get your feelings hurt. I do want to share, Vicki, about a topic that is very touchy, which is, what do you do when you come across an agent who is already fully engaged? And I just explained what engaged was with another agent. You could tell they're excited, but maybe they know you and go, hey, well, what do you think? They're going to do that. And I always
say it's kind of like links in a chain, right? If you think of the first time an agent ever hears the words EXP. And then the last link in the chain is when they actually hit that join button and sign on to join. And every link in between is some sort of interaction with the company or with an agent. Somewhere along the way, they're going to talk to more than one person. And sometimes you're the first link in that chain, sometimes you're the last. It just kind of depends.
Very good. But my take on it, what my personal take on it is, when I met somebody, and I had this happen last week, I met an agent, and she was engaged with another agent. She wanted me to help her get going at EXP because I'm in California, she's in California, and the person she was talking to was not in California. And I said, I'm flattered, I'm honored, but I can't do it. My sponsor's from Texas, and it hasn't hurt me a bit having a sponsor from Texas. I love my sponsor. I'm so grateful to Sheila Fairgeron out of Dallas to be my sponsor, and I just love that woman. I'm going to say that with the right heart and the right kind of love and all the good stuff. But wow, so you don't need a local sponsor to be highly successful at EXP. And please don't be the agent that says, well, forget that person. They're in New York. I'm here in Montana. Let me help you. I just think that's disgusting. For me personally, I've had probably 8 times where people say, well, you're here. And I'm like, well, do you not like the person you talk to? Like, no, they're great. They've been so helpful. They've been working with me for half a year, but it's just business. And I get to choose my sponsor and I choose you. I go, that is true. That is true. But I also have to sleep at night. And I get to pick you'll notice when someone puts you down as a sponsor, EXP sends you an email, says, do you accept this person? And many times I've said, I do not. I don't know this person. It's been 7 or 8 times in 15 months, but I will not do it on principle. That's me. And I'm maybe a little hardcore on the deal, but that's what I do. And so it's the old, do unto others, the golden rule. I don't know. And it's tough. It's a tough situation. I know the board of realtors, like, well, whoever writes the offer, that's the agent who gets to represent the buyer. I know Keller Williams are like, well, whoever is on that form. I know 10 people talked to me before I went to Keller Williams. So I had to put somebody down, and I'm sure it hurt other people's feelings. So it is the company standpoint. Whoever's on that ICA is the sponsor. But we as human beings, when they're excited and they're talking to someone out of Nashville and you're up in, Wisconsin, when they're excited, when you're kind of cut in and will say, no, forget them. Not the right thing, in my opinion. And I don't know, Vicki, correct me. I don't know, but that's
no. You're absolutely right. It's very much like that procuring cause, right? Who was most influential, and we have to do the right thing, because first of all, it comes back. It'll come back. I truly believe that. So, if you are out there making bad decisions around this, look out, because at some point, someone that you probably should be the sponsor in is going to choose someone else. We should not be enticing people out of naming one person into naming someone else. We're not in the practice as sponsors to recruit people who are already in the process of being attracted to the company. If they're already in that process, they're in that process. That's where, I kind of feel like we have these different hats on, right? We have the hat of the attractor on, where it's our job to be in relationship with agents and share with them the company and make the company attractive. And then ultimately, we also have this other hat of that agent owner hat on, right? And as an owner in the company, I just want them here, right? I don't care who they name as a sponsor. I just want them here selling real estate for EXP, because I own EXP as an agent owner like every other shareholder, right? So I think it's important to take that cultural stand. And I've seen some things. I've seen people make offers of different whether it's financial gain or extra support, or basically working to entice someone. I've even heard of instances where someone will be at some sort of an event talking about EXP that they were invited to by someone else, and there's people in the event trying to find the non-EXP EXP agents there and talk them into naming them as a sponsor. I mean, that's, that's like hanging out at open house as an agent trying to get those buyers to work with you. I mean, it's icky. It's not the right thing to do. And I think we really have to, as a company, and we're getting ready to launch some best practices and form really, make a pledge for sponsorship. But ultimately, this is a cultural issue that we all, as agent owners, all, 75 plus 100 of us, have to stand up and say, you know what? Culturally, this is not who we are. This is not what we're going to do. We're going to be honoring each other as sponsors for the agents that they are sharing the opportunity of EXP with. And really, that's the part that has to happen.
I totally agree with you, Vicki. I love the way you just worded all that. And it is Team EXP. It's not team me and
Right.
mine. We are a team. We're not going to cannibalize ourselves. Some people will get upset. They'll see that happen. It's going to happen again. It will happen. Well, that's what EXP is all about. No, it is not what EXP heart is and all about. Vicki and I, what the heart of this company is all about, what we're about. Now, will individuals do weird stuff? Yes, it's called human beings. So don't go about, I'm quitting the company. That is not what EXP is all about. So I want to end with this, two things. And this is, kind of a real touchy subject, but and it doesn't happen a lot, but please don't ask agents to switch lines. In my opinion, this is bad. It's very bad, in my opinion. I've never seen it happen in the 15 months, 100 agents and brokers. No one's ever switched lines. It takes 7 signatures from 7 people upline to a benefit in the rev share tree. It affects stock. It affects all kinds of stuff. Costs money. Never seen totally opposed to it. Especially if someone switches lines and becomes successful, then people are like, well, if I switch lines, I'd be successful too. No, grow where you're planted. My sponsors in Texas, it's okay. Reach out. I reached out. I was bugging people in the cloud, bugging Jason, Vicki, anyone who would listen to me, asking questions. And then I learned to help my agents order their business cards, get an EFAX, set up with Regis, do this stuff. We worked hard at it. Yes, we worked hard at it. But the rewards are astronomical. It's worth the extra effort. Otherwise, it's just the same thing, same time, year after year. And in 10 years, you're just an older real estate agent. It's time to build something. And Glenn Sanford put together something amazing and was a visionary, and I'm so grateful to be here, Vicki. I know we're about wrapping this up. Any final thoughts that you want to cover or anything?
I just saw a couple of questions up in the text chat about switching lines and what you mean by that. And, that is about trying to change your sponsorship, right? Once you're with the company, and certainly that is not something that that we encourage. We do allow it with full approval of everyone who was in your original line. Fee that needs to be paid on that as well. And again, it's not something we encourage, and it certainly is not something that as an agent you should ever encourage another agent to do that. That isn't, it are situations that come up, so we do have a policy in place to handle that. But the reality is the sponsorship relationship and the revenue share relationship is really between us as a company and the agent who's done the sponsoring, right? It's our way of saying thank you. It's our obligation as EXP to company, and because we wouldn't have that agent here selling real estate earning that revenue if it wasn't for efforts in making EXP attractive to that agent. So that is really the relationship. So we really don't encourage any kind of change there. And again, keep doing the right thing. I mean, that it kind of all keeps coming back to that, right? The social intelligence, the common sense, the doing the right thing. I mean, this isn't rocket science.
I totally agree. So, I mean, today we covered a bunch of great stuff, give you advice. We covered some stuff. Hey, please avoid these things. Not the rules. Some of the stuff we talked about, you know, and like people going to companies' grand openings and recruiting like crazy and doing it obnoxious. That's not normal. But hey, someone calls you and they're checking out EXP and they're excited, but I know so and so, I'm going to call them. That isn't your opportunity. And these things are rare, but it will happen. And we want you to know, in my opinion, and Vicky's would, that as Team EXP, as an owner, you would help recruit that person to the company for somebody else. Again, these are minor situations, but they do come up. Man, I'm so excited. I just personally want to say, I hope everybody in this audience is coming to Las Vegas on the 5th and 6th, I believe, right, Vicky?
That's right, April 5th and 6th.
Yep, I'm going to be there. I look forward to meeting you personally. This is the bounce you get off that. I worked so hard to get people there last year in San Diego. I bought a few airline tickets. I paid for a couple of hotel rooms. I paid for some registrations. I bought some steak dinners. So you go, I'll buy you dinner. You go, I'll meet you for breakfast. I bought a few breakfasts, dinners. Yes, I did. Glenn did. You're an owner. Owners invest money. I'm begging you, not only show up, but bring you just A, decide you're going, and B, bring 15 to 20 or 50 or 100 people with you. Watch your business explode. I got a bunch of people there in San Diego last April, and my business exploded. We went from hiring, we had maybe 10, 20 people a month coming back then. Absolutely. Then we went to 30 a month, then 50 a month, then 100 a month, and then 200 a month. And in the last 30 days in January, we had 290, 200, what? 275. No, it was more than that. Gross, right? Was it? Yes. I don't believe him. James is over here. You guys pay no attention to us. I'm having a discussion with my COO. But he says, I inflate the number. He said it was 275. He's probably dead on. I've been telling everyone 295. But it doesn't matter. That's a lot of people. It's like entire Keller Williams market centers coming in, or huge remodel. Crazy, but it's because I went to the shareholders meeting in San Diego last April, and not only showed up, I took notes, I had a great attitude, and I brought people. We exploded from there. So here's your chance. Some of you are going to miss it. You're like, oh, I can't afford it. Whatever. Take a bus, get yourself to Las Vegas. It's there. This is the fly into. Hotels are very inexpensive. It's Las Vegas. They want you to come and be there. And the resort we're at out in the desert, it's not on the strip. It's beautiful. Vicky's going to be there. Jason, Glenn, meet the founder. Going to be amazing. I'm done. There's my little soapbox, but your business will explode. So that's all I got. Agreed, Brent. The live events definitely take us through from one to the next. I always am looking forward to seeing everyone and meeting folks that I haven't had the chance to meet in person. So by all means, definitely love to have you there. If you have not engaged in Workplace yet, you should have a link there. If you have any trouble with that, you can stop by our tech support in the tech outpost and make sure we get you invited and you find your way in there, because Workplace is where we have these conversations about agent attraction all the time. In fact, there is a group specific to agent attraction best practices. We'd love to have you in there. Keep these conversations going. Maybe you've got a great idea for agent attraction, but now you've been in here and you're thinking, oh, is this in that? Is this okay? There's the perfect group there in Workplace where you can ask that. And then, of course, I'm always available. Jason's always available. Sam's always available. We are happy to help with any of those questions that you have as well. We appreciate you. We are so excited about the incredible growth that this company has, and the fact that we are excited, and it makes us passionate and evangelical in what we do is a wonderful problem to have. So anyway, great. Thank you so much, Brent, for your time today. Looks like we're getting ready to here at the top of the
Thank you, Brent. Thank you, Vicki.